This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Welcome to Behind the Scenes, for your half-assed entertainment news with no bullshit, with our hosts, Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda, only on Talk 4 Media.
G'day guys, welcome to Behind the Scenes. I'm your host, Summer Helene, and we are coming to you live from Sydney, Australia. For me, I am hiding, I'm back home, I'm like trying to hold my iPad. I say Alexis is. Alexis is currently holding my iPad, she's thrilled. Can I show your face? No, she will not let me show her face. So she's completely thrilled. And of course, we have live from California, my co-host, the man that choked on crickets. Because why the hell not?
That's not. It's Pickle Bear from the past couple weeks.
It's not Pickle Bear. It is. No, you are choked on a cricket bear.
I'm cricket choker.
Cricket choker. But on the plus side, it
sounds like I go around choking crickets.
I know. Well, it sounds like you're a cricket murderer. I'm trying to look. I'm trying to add more light in different ways. I'm like, this is just not working. But
no, really,
this is better.
So you're a little dark. It looks like you're kind of telling scary stories because the light's coming from underneath you.
I'm using this. I'm at an Airbnb.
That's way too much light.
And what Bear has to eat today?
Oh yes,
chicken lollipops.
You want me?
I'm just saying. Like I'm trying, man.
It's right here. They call them palito asado paleta. Chicken lollipops, basically.
That is the worst Spanish accent I've ever heard.
It's not a Spanish word I'm used to saying. I could say Spanish words decently if I've been practicing them since I was a child. Like agua and gracias. See? Very simple.
How do I say you're a weirdo in Spanish? Lex, how do I say you're a weirdo? Eres what? Eres raro. See? My Spanish is perfect. I have a translator from Peru. We'll eat that in a minute. But guess what we're doing? It's shaped like a chicken. You're going to try a chicken lollipop. And next week, you're going to be trying balut, which will be fun, which is a cooked, half-fertilized duck egg. We're going to try regional foods next. He's going to love it.
So not even trendy foods, just foods from around the world.
We're doing that next. We've run out of trendy foods. Now, how is this chicken lollipop? Tell me what it tastes like.
Not like chicken.
What's it taste like?
It's a bit sour.
Maybe you gotta bite it. Sorry for things moving on my end, guys. For some reason, Lex is moving.
It's just sour.
Eat some insects. The response is eat some insects from Theo.
It doesn't really eat some insects. I'm done with the insects. Jesus Christ. Oh, you know what? It's not only sour. This is burning my throat.
We have more insects, just not today. Well, bite it. See if the chicken's inside.
There's no chicken inside. Just bit it.
What's it taste like? Don't gag. Rude. Okay, he's gagging. I don't know.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was gross. It's sour. It's got like essence of chicken in it. Like, you go get vanilla extract. It's not chicken extract. They just scraped some dead chicken skin off a carcass and like liquefied it and threw it in there.
And how is it?
The sourness is the best part of it, and that's a solid 3.5 out of 10 right there.
Okay, so chicken lollipops, 3.5 out of 10.
Yeah, boy, that's an acquired taste, much like the balut you want me to eat next week.
Now, that being said, if you guys can send, if there's something you want Bear to try and you send it, it has to be prepackaged and come from the company. We can take it at P.O. Box 3114, Palm Springs 92263. So Palm Springs, California 92263. That's P.O. Box 3114. But the rule is it has to be prepackaged, come that way, and needs to come from like Amazon or whatever. We can't take stuff that came from people's houses.
What would we do, Alexis, just shouting out information that we don't have?
Alexis is helpful. And that way, if you're
somewhere in Palm Springs, take your best gift.
That way, if your fans want you to eat more bugs, you can.
Listen, if anyone sends me a spider, it's not happening. I do not eat spiders. It's not going to happen.
Yes, it is.
Don't make that face. Shane Mosley will all eat at you if you don't eat insects. I don't know what that means, but I'm still hopefully not eating any more insects. It's just so gross.
Shane Mosley is going to be on the show today, and he says you have to do it.
I don't want to eat insects. Although, wait. You said Shane Mosley is on the radio show?
Yeah, Shane's on today, right? Shane Mosley's on the radio show today.
This is a wonderful surprise. I thought it was Pearly Things today.
No. I think Pearly Things is next week. She shifted.
Okay, no worries. I mean, listen, it's so much easier to have Shane on this show. I wrote down notes. I don't take notes, by the way, most of the time, guys. I usually have a good understanding of the person I'm going to talk to, so I have kind of like things I've worked up in my head over the past few weeks looking them up. But with Pearly Things, there was so many ways that she would kind of construe truth and information and throw things out randomly, and she would
misconstrue is the word you're looking for.
She would just throw things out there that had no facts or have no basis. So I actually went and did like a bunch of research, wrote down a bunch of notes because I'm like, all right, if she says this, then here's this. She says this, here's this. Because I was expecting.
Well, my thing with just Pearly Things is she's like, you what is it? If you're in your 30s, you know, successful, attractive men aren't gonna like you. I'm like, I don't mean this in like a bad way, but just the hosts of this show kind of disprove everything you've said. Because by her standards, you are the ideal man. You're attractive, you're good at your job, you're, you know, in that prime age. Oh, stop flexing. And by her standards, I'm not a stay-at-home. I'm, you know, successful in my career. I'm in my 30s. You're in your 20s. Like,
no, as I'm saying, she basically, you were everything wrong with modern women, is what she would say.
Yeah, pretty much. And you're exactly the kind of guy that she's looking for and that she's pushing as the ideal guy. But like, you're literally in a relationship with me, and it comes down to, okay, so what then? Like,
well, I don't think I'm the ideal guy in her mind, only because she's like, you know, I would stand for things that she finds abhorrent according to her, for as far as women go and how relationships should work. She's usually promoting how women. She
can say that, but her ideal on men is that you guys, you have to, you know, make money, have a job. You're like a man's man kind of man, unless it comes to spiders, then you scream like a little girl. But
spiders, I'll give her that. She never insulted people who can't handle spiders. So if that's one thing we have to agree upon, I'll agree with her on that. Spiders are scary.
Okay, I'm going to take the iPad. Lex is dying. And would you text David and find out what is going on? Don't move things.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard. People are not great phone stands, you know.
No, they're not. She needs to find something, but something that doesn't make noise. And she's like over in the corner, like, okay, if I take the whole suitcase, I'm like, we have nothing to lean this on. This is not going to go well. So you guys are like handheld right now?
No, this is like a regular influencer live stream. You're like an Instagram model.
Why do you insult me?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it's like what the Zoomers are doing. They hold the phone above their head. They walk around downtown, wherever. They show off the area. Sometimes.
First of all, I'm a millennial. I suck way more than a Zoomer. Second of all, I have a job. No, I'm kidding. Influencing is a really hard job. And I don't have the personality for it because I don't like people. It's the same reason I quit modeling. So what's a polite way of saying this?
Yeah.
When I found out like I was good at modeling, I was good at acting, I was getting plenty of work. I was quite happy. I'm one of those few people. When you hear those stories, you can see all my packing in the background. It's all messy. I was one of those few people that had that was actually, able to do it.
Hmm.
Here's where the catch came in. I had to deal with people. Like I had to deal with people wanting photographs. Like when we go out with Bear, people stop him and they want a photo and they want to chat. And he enjoys that. Like he genuinely enjoys standing and talking with people. Shay Mosley, who's on the show, does as well. And I think that's a part of the job that nobody explained. Because when I did it, it was really problematic. Lex Hunt, you cannot put a chair. She's like lifting random shit. Hunt, unless it can go right here, it's not helpful, and that's gonna make way too much noise. Stop. You're not helping.
Shout out to
It's noise.
our
Shout out to our producer who's like,
Thomas.
she's like retroactively trying to fix what I broke, like what I didn't set up. But she's like got a chair and a suitcase that she's trying to stack on the bed. I'm like, it's great, and if she manages to pull this off, I'm putting this on camera. But it's making noise, so I'm like, shh, shh, shh.
If it helps,
I feel like the world's bitchiest librarian.
I got some decent headphones on. I can't hear what she's doing at all.
See, that's awesome. But yeah, that's kind of what it comes down to. Is it's a very different point of view.
I think I kind of get what you're saying. She's definitely the person who she's kind of like the opposite of what she promotes and talks about. She would say all these negative things about you and your profession, but in her own world, she does what you do. She is a working woman. She works in the entertainment world. She's on a news media outlet. She's on a channel, a network, if you will. Like she does everything that you would do in just in a different field. And she would come at you for all that. And if you tell her about it, her defense is, oh no, I'm doing it to get the message out to the people, to spread awareness and information. Because if I'm not doing it, no one's going to do it. That's how the feminists win, and a bunch of other just bullcrap, honestly.
I got to show you. I'm trying to sound now. I know I'm crooked, but Lex has got a chair with my handbag with the stand on it. And a light. Like I'm actually quite impressed with how well she has ghetto rigged this. And it is ghetto.
You're stable, and you look size wise similar to me now. So it's not like zoomed in you and then like me way in the background. It's very
this is the most ghetto rigged I've ever been, and it worked.
Wait, you're in Australia. It's a bush mechanic.
Yeah, the term we use is bush mechanic, but Lex is, ghetto, so ghetto rigged works better.
How's your trip been going so far? You've been out there for almost a week. How's everything going?
It's going really well. I've spent good time with my family. We went out to Paddy's Market. I'm going to go there again. We've got around the beaches. We've done, my dad took us on kind of a tour for those that hadn't been here before. I went to the universities. I'm actually really disappointed. I went over to NIDA, which is where I studied when I was young, and most of the film actors come out of. And oh my God, they're not doing the film programs anymore. They're focused entirely on stage. Really, like I was coming in offering jobs with BBC to these kids, and the whole thing is they're like, man, but the teachers will take the jobs.
That's interesting. So I wonder why they would have cut the programs. Is it film just not making? Is it? Yeah, I was gonna say, is it not?
No. It's so I went to the University of Sydney, and I'm also going to deal with the University of New South Wales, and I'm going to offer them a job. And then we directly contacted Mel Gibson, because he is one of the biggest donors to NIDA, to be like, hey, I know, because I was a donor. A lot of people there's a group called Advance, which is a group for Australians living abroad. We all give money. Well, I can tell you, none of us are going to now.
Oh, I see. So it's like, you've cut these programs that helped our industry, so now we're not going to continue.
You cut these programs, but then you have teachers who are still acting and competing with their own students. Like, I'm not a huge fan of you're a failed actor, so you become a teacher. If you're a teacher, you're a teacher. Some people just love teaching. Yeah, that's who should be teaching, not somebody because they can't get a job as an actor. Lex, would you check on Shane, see what time he's going to come on, please?
Yeah, you definitely. I think that's kind of an issue in my world too with fighting. Is sometimes you have guys who are fighting, but they're also coaching and they're bringing up their own competition a little bit. And I don't mind it if you're so far ahead of that person. Like if you're already a UFC fighter and you're a coach, cool. It's not like even
well,
if
you and your coach are fighting on the same card, actually for Shane Mosley in December.
Yeah, right. We're gonna be on his. Is it that fancy house card of his, or is it a different promotion?
No. This one you're actually going to be commentating at the end of your fight. So this is off the record, but December 31st,
Yeah.
Shane Mosley is coming out of retirement for a big old fight in Vegas, New Year's Eve. And we have Dan Henderson's going to be there. Sugar Shane's going to be there. We're in talks with like some of the biggest boxers in the world, some of the biggest MMA fighters in the world. We've been texting GSP actually because of, again, your coach Joe Daddy. We've been talking to Cowboy. It's been really interesting.
Yeah, it's like it's funny. We would call it MMA, but this is legitimately a mixed martial arts fight night because it's gonna have
it's boxing versus MMA.
Yeah. Now,
and so when I talk Mike Tyson in and put you in the ring with Mike Tyson, we'll see how that goes.
So can I do anything I want, or do I have to just box him?
Oh no, you just have to box him.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I'm good.
No, actually, the one I'm trying to get Mike Tyson. Don't tell anyone because this is a secret. We're trying to get Mike Tyson for Dan Henderson, the greatest boxer versus the greatest MMA fighter. But nobody knows it's a secret. Shh.
My only thing with that though is that he's already going to fight Jake, and is he going to want to do another one after that? You know,
I'd take a guess and say yes.
Yes. Okay.
Because I'd take a guess and say yes. And I think it's perfect for Hendo because that's like the greatest MMA fighter of all time versus the greatest boxer of all time.
Yeah, you just got to make sure to. And I love Dan. Just Dan was not like he didn't throw hands, if you know what I mean. He could throw punches.
Really, the H bomb. He didn't throw hands.
But it's his one. That's his
okay.
one,
Okay. No. I'll make you a deal. I will text him and tell him you said he can't throw hands.
That's not what I'm saying. He's not.
No. I got you. I'm gonna text him and I'm gonna text Joe and say that you said that, and then they can like discuss that with you themselves in training tomorrow.
He's a phenomenal wrestler. You know, that's all. That's what I'm saying.
Digging. You just don't want to get punched by him.
I've already been punched by him.
How was it?
It's definitely not the most pleasant thing in the world. He tells us all the time. He's like, I can't go for five rounds, but I can give you one good 5-minute round. And it reminds me of that song where it's
not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
Exactly, that exact song.
Yeah, what is it like to wrestle someone like Dan Henderson?
I have not wrestled with him. He took me down several times, but we didn't continue. He wanted to stay on his feet, and I imagine because it was probably preparing for this fight you're talking about
that nobody knows about.
Right, my bad. Nobody knows about it. So he would take me down, and then I would struggle like a whimpering seal to get back up, clutched in the jaws of a great white.
So when Dan Henderson gets you on the ground, you're basically his bitch.
It's so little that I can actually do. Very.
I'd like to remind everyone, every time we use bad language, we give money to the Boys and Girls Club of America, the Humane Society of America, and Free MMA. We swear because it's 5 a.m. I've been up since 4. I'm on my first cup of tea, and I'm tired, and it's Australia.
Well, speaking of someone who's probably not up currently at 5 a.m. in Australia, we welcome our guest to the show.
G'day, Sugar Shane. How you doing?
I'm good. How you guys doing? I hear a little bit on Dan Henderson you guys are talking about.
Yeah, it's for your fight in December. Nobody knows about it, though. I'm telling him it's a secret. Nobody knows that Sugar Shane is putting on the biggest fight event in boxing history on December 31st in Vegas. It's a secret, so don't tell anyone. There's 6.5 million people listening to this.
You already so they know.
Just throwing it out there.
Just tossing it out. Well, I keep reaching out to Conor McGregor because I wanted him to fight you. But we've talked to like GSP. GSP's like, I'll do it. We've got Cowboy. Cowboy's like, I'm in. Like everyone in the world wants to fight Sugar Shane. It's
Oh, that's
amazing.
great. I love
You're
that.
like you're like the guy everyone's gunning for. I was like, but you smile
Let's
with
do
that
it.
happening.
I'm so happy. Everybody wants to. Well, people want to get in the ring with me because I was under the pressure that nobody wanted to get in the ring, and I was feeling a little like left out.
I gotta tell you, I'd have a very different reaction if someone was telling me like, yeah, I talked to GSP and he's good to go, Cowboy's good. Like, there would be a summer-shaped hole in the wall. Nothing in the world would get me in the ring with them or with you. You people are crazy, both of
Um,
you.
well, maybe they believe that they can win. They can do something. I mean, sometimes people look at my height or, my that I'm not too, I guess, aggressive or whatever, and they think that they can do something. But no, they can't.
So they mistake sweet for not so dangerous.
Exactly.
That brings up a good point. You personally, you've been around in boxing forever, but you've also won numerous titles over across multiple different organizations. What do you think about when you step into the ring for that title fight? You're defending or going after the belt. What's kind of running through your mind when you look at your opponent?
I hear feedback from somebody.
There's no feedback. Oh, not from me. Maybe
Not
somebody
from
went
you.
outside. I don't know.
Maybe it's me.
Okay. Um, I think that what's good through my mind is, um, I don't want to say like killing them, but like I have to win at all costs. I go for everything. I give 100%, and I want to make sure that, um, yeah, I'm making sure that I'm winning the fight. So I don't go out there doing technique and or thinking about technique or whatever, and how I'm gonna throw a jab or a left hook or right hand. I think about what they call it. It's a fight. It's a boxing match was a fight. So I'm actually out there fighting.
I like that. It's a good
I
mentality.
gotta I gotta ask now. This is a personal. Do you mind just asking you some personal questions?
Of course, go ahead.
Your son followed you into boxing. I
Mhm.
gotta tell you, if I would not be happy if my child was like, I'm gonna be a fighter. Yeah, that's not happening. Like, how is it for you? Because you've seen the good and the bad, and your son, you know, followed you right into it. How?
I love I love that he's doing boxing, but he didn't start off. It wasn't quickly because I started when he was like 8, maybe 7 years old, and he didn't want to box anymore. Not that he didn't, but people were telling him that he should box because I do it. It's a rough sport and all these different things. But he was too young to make a decision. And I said, if you ever want to box, if you ever want to do this sport, then come to me and tell me and talk to me, and I'll teach you how to do it the best way. I'll teach you, the best way to do it. And he did. He came back when he was 15, 16 years old, and he wanted to be a fighter and wanted to be a real fighter. I said, okay, let's do it. So it was his choice. It was on his terms. And that's why I like better, because sometimes fathers or whatever, they will come and they'll force their kid to be a
Yeah.
fighter, force their kid to do whatever it is that they did because they're good at it or whatever. I didn't force Junior to do this. He did it himself. It was like this is what he wanted to do. That's how he wanted to do his life. So I'm happy, and I'm happy that he chose to be a fighter and not listen to anybody to persuade him to not do it.
I would think being in the combat sports world for so long, you would have people who come to you and ask, how do I become a fighter? How do I get in the pro league? Can I learn from you? And maybe some of them did and they fell out. They didn't continue. They didn't come back to the gym. A lot of that times happen. Guys come in with
Well, you know,
dreams.
that was kind of like what Jake Paul did. Jake Paul was, starting out and he wanted to be a good fighter, and so he came to camp with me in Big Bear,
Oh,
and yeah, and that's how and that was one of the starts. I was one of his starting coaches to start him off in his fighting career. So he did the same thing. I came. Well, I actually went to him. He wanted to be a fighter, and I told him, if you want to really learn how to fight and do it the right way, mentality wise and everything, then come with me up here to Big Bear, and I'll show you. I'll show you how to do a real camp. I'll show you how to be a real fighter.
I think what that means, Bear, is one day when you fight Jake Paul, Shane's not going to be on your side. I'm just saying.
Oh. I'm just saying that, well, I don't know if are you gonna fight Jake Paul?
Well, no, we haven't. That hasn't been discussed yet.
Wow. See,
We haven't been able to put that
so
out.
it's like this, you know. I love Jake Paul, and I think he's a great guy and great for boxing. But like he's fighting Mike Tyson, and I know Mike Tyson too. I like Mike Tyson as well.
Are you
Um,
willing to
I'm
so
stick?
not.
so
You guys are.
so,
I'm.
so
Is
I'm
there
not in it.
like? Is there like a crazy gene? And I don't mean this in a bad way, but like, what makes you guys do this? I mean, Bear gets in the
It's
cage
a
in
adrenaline, it's like
tiny little.
adrenaline rush. It's like, I equate it to like, I remember my son jumping out of the airplane at 15,000 feet, and I'm like, that has to be what it feels like. Like you jump, getting ready to jump out of the airplane for the first time, and you open up the parachute, like it's like a leap of faith or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it really is because I've done both. I fought and I've jumped out of a plane. Very similar emotions run through your head as you're exiting out.
Exactly, right? I felt
Yeah,
like I didn't jump out with my son. I just kind of looked at him and said, okay, take me down with the plane. I'll come down with the plane, but I'm not jumping out of that plane, tandem with somebody. No, I don't need to do that. I was a little older too, so I was like, maybe I was younger. If I was his age, I would do that, but I'm not doing that.
yeah, it's
All
different.
I'm getting from this is you guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Shane,
Hey, you know what? You have to be crazy too to be a fighter.
really? Okay,
Yeah, a
I can
little
see
bit.
that.
Yeah, you got a little bit crazy because to think that you're fighting another person and you just go out there and all these people like watching you and stuff like that. Like there's a little bit of craziness to you. Like normal people, like you said, won't just walk to the ring and be like, you know what, I'm gonna fight. They won't do it. So you have to have a
Oh hell
little bit
no.
of craziness to you.
I
So
can say if
I
somebody
think
came
you're
up
right.
to me and was like, "I'll give you some money to go get punched in the face." I'm good at
Yeah,
making money. I will make money elsewhere. I do not need to be punched in the face to make money. Nah,
yeah.
you guys are nuts.
I don't know if it's about the money. I think well, for some people it's about the money, and that's not a good thing when you fight for the money. You should be fighting to be the best and to beat the other person, because you want to be better than the other person, the other opponent. So I would. That's why I fought, and I believe that
Gotcha.
beating the other opponent, I'm going to get a lot of money anyway, and we had greatness and stuff. So that's what I want. But I wanted to be the best. Though that was my key thing, is being the best. I had to beat everybody.
I
No,
like that.
that brings me back to what I was talking about earlier with your
Okay.
son when he was training under you for the first time.
Right.
What was there a moment when you looked at him and thought, this is he's going to be great? Did he do something, or did you see something in him when he was training that really gave you that idea?
Well, what gave me the thought that he's going to be a great fighter is when he changed his mind about the box. It wasn't that he's fighting under me or under my shadow. He's fighting for his life. He's fighting for his own family. His babies, his kids. For him, and this is for him. Now it's not. It's no longer. He is my son, but he's no longer my son. Now he's a man. He's a grown man that has his own family, his own kids, his own everything. He has to fight for that. He has to fight. He has to fight for that. He has to fight for his kids to have food on the table, or, for his kids to be wherever they're gonna be. You know what I'm saying? For his wife, for everybody. So
That makes
now
sense.
it's different. So now you see the greatness in him. Now you see him fighting for his life.
Okay, we have our
Fight for
first
his life.
online. We have
Purpose
our
fighting.
questions coming in online.
Hmm.
And one of the first questions, how do I become a fighter boxer? I think fighter and boxer, I think that's a little redundant. I think it's the same thing. I'm just saying.
Well, boxing.
How do I become a fighter boxer like you?
Well, you first have to find a gym to be the type of fighter, but then also it's a mentality. And like I told my son, and you can see his mentality change, and then you see his fighting skills change because of the mentality. Before it was just like, oh yeah, I'm boxing and I'm fighting under my father's shadow, and he fought that way. Now he's fighting like, no, I'm a man and I'm fighting for a world title because this is my life and I love boxing. This is my life. So he's different now, and he's becoming a world champion. So it's the mentality that makes you a champion. I always say that, like, you can see different fighters like Mayorga. Mayorga is not the best fighter in the world, right? But he became a world champion. You know what I'm saying? Because he believed in it. He believed that he could beat everybody, and he became a world champion. Not saying that he's definitely not technically the best sound fighter to even watch him fight.
Right.
But what you can watch his mentality, you can watch how he believed in himself when he first went for the title. It didn't matter who it was.
That makes sense.
He was fighting for his
That makes
lifestyle.
sense.
You
Now,
know,
what mentality do you think people need to have? Is it that fight for your life mentality? When you say it's mentality, what, so we have people
so
from all different facets of the entertainment industry, and something that watch this show and something I tell them is mentality. It doesn't matter what job you're in, is everything.
mentality. So, well, it's everything. Mentality is everything. So, when I said mentality for a fighter, I used to look at animals and watch the way they react to life. To the predator and the prey. How are they going to react when there's food out there they need to eat? Are they going to like not go and get the food? Are they going to so that they have a mentality of a survival of the fittest mentality. Like they're surviving when they go out there. They're not going there with the mentality. Yes, you want to win, you're going to win. And that's a different mentality, the winning mentality. But the survival mentality is like Mayorga had, because he didn't have any money, whatever. He grew up a different way. Me, I had money, so that's why I'm saying it's different. I was a middle class, if you will, and the only reason why I was where I was because I had to win. I had like something in my gut that just killed me when I didn't win. So I made sure that I found out all the remedies and secrets of everything to win. When I got a little bit, and I did also for my family as well, because my sisters, my father, my mother, everybody, I didn't want nobody to work. So I'm like, you know what, I'll make sure they're not gonna ever work again. They're not gonna ever need money. So I went in there and I fought like that. Like, I fight for my lifestyle, fight for my family.
That's
I
wonderful.
don't I don't think people realize when one person gets successful, and this is something I really try and stress, and you hit the nail on the head. When one person gets successful and one person gets money, it changes the entire socio-economic demographic of the family, because that spreads out. It opens opportunities, it opens doors, it helps everybody. Your whole family's life is changed when you
Yeah.
have somebody like you, Shane, that has come to this next level. You're one of the most famous fighters in the world. You were just put in the Boxing Hall of Fame. I mean, you're incredible, and that changes everyone's life. What's the one secret to getting in there, that if you got to give everyone one thing and say this is it, this is the one thing that you need to have, what is it?
It's really that belief system, putting that energy out there that you're going to do whatever you say you're going to do, because we all have abilities to say the energy to say what we're going to do and put it into the universe, and let the universe, because we're all part of this system, the God system, the universe system. So you can use this energy that's out there and say it and believe it. You not just say it, but believe it, and walk through it like it is, like it's happening, and it'll
You're
happen.
talking.
It'll happen. It happened with me. I thought that I was like Superman or something when I was like 6, 7, 8 years old. I told my mother and my family, I said, I'm gonna be world, I'm gonna be great when I was 10 years old. I let them know that I'm gonna be great, and I believed it. It wasn't that it was that I just said I was like, oh, I'm gonna be great. No, I was like, I was great. I believe like I was a superhero or something. Like nobody can do anything to me. I was jumping off of roofs and doing backflips off the roofs and fences and stuff, and like I was one of those kids that had to be the best. I had to do whatever it was. I wouldn't say I thought it was God, but I thought that I was a superhero, that I can do whatever I thought and said. I can do it as long as I work hard at it. So I think that put it in your brain, saying that I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and really believe in it. Yeah, it can happen. I think Floyd did the same thing. Floyd was like, oh yeah, I'm going to be great, I'm going to be one of the best. I heard that people in the Olympic team said Floyd says he's going to be one of the greats. And look, that's what happened.
Yeah,
You-
I will.
You
I
see
will
it.
say on Sugar Shane's fight night that we are not announcing December 31st in Las Vegas. Casey Thomas, she's got a reality show being done about her. She does the Oscars, the Emmys, BET Awards. She does that. She's actually producing the live event. She produces all major live events in Hollywood. Nobody knows that.
Right.
And the first thing she asked, she's like, "Is Floyd involved?" I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Because he's a friend of mine, and I know when he finds out that Sugar Shane's put on a fight and he's not invited, he's gonna be pissed." I was like, "Invite him."
Well, maybe they could change it to me fighting Floyd. Yeah, I don't or doing a
Ooh,
big switch with him. That could be good if he wants to be involved. Let's just do it. Let's do it big.
okay. We'll
Call
call
it. Let him know.
Floyd.
Like if he wants to be involved and do it, then maybe he can be the one. It
I
doesn't
was
matter.
after Conor
It doesn't
McGregor,
matter
but
to me. Yeah, it
Making
doesn't
okay,
matter.
history
Floyd.
here.
But that's something I don't think people realize is how small. So I'm from the film world. It's very, very small. Everyone kind of knows everyone. The boxing world's the same way. I know Bears in MMA. The MMA world's the same way. In these very specialty jobs, the world's very small. You kind of know everyone. I bump into people all the time that know you, and I'll mention, hey, we're doing this fight, or hey, I'm doing, I just so for anyone out there, I'm not doing the fight. I'm not putting on the live event. I'm just
Right.
doing the streaming. Just a TV person.
He put it out.
But basically, everyone knows you. It's just you've made an impact. How can somebody break into that world? That's the question we get all the time, is how do they get in?
That I really don't know. I really, it felt weird. It felt like it just happened. Um, Yeah, I fought a lot of great fighters like Oscar De La Hoya and Floyd and everybody. So it's kind of like, and the world got a chance to see me, and maybe they love my personality, they love the way I am, and I got into the big leagues. I wouldn't know how to do it because it was like it just happened to me. I'm not very well. I wasn't very like flamboyant where I had to talk to mass people like me because I was like a regular guy.
You're cutting out a little bit.
Like I was like a regular guy, and they can approach me and stuff like that. So that's why people liked me. But I'm not
Your
sure.
cameras, you're off camera. There we go.
There
I'm
we
not
go.
Sorry.
sure. I'm not sure what it was. I was trying to put my face closer. Yeah, I'm not sure what it was as far as why people gravitate to me. Maybe it's my energy. I don't know.
You
You
just have really
you're
positive,
charming.
and people can get really invested, man. They get involved with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're definitely charming, and I gotta say, like,
Thank you.
Bear's following is totally Gen Z, and his MMA. But when we went to, when I met you guys and we were having dinner and we were talking about the fight, Bear's like, "Wait, you're with Sugar Shane?" Straight shows up at the restaurant uninvited to try and get a pic with you. I'm like,
I was probably sitting out in that parking lot for about 30 to 40 minutes before she's like, okay, here's a chance. Come in and say hi.
you can come in now. I
It was no
asked.
problem. Though. I had no problem with that. Like,
Thank you.
and I think
But
yeah, and I think that's what people like me because it's like
mhm,
yeah, I'm not one of those celebrities that are like, you know, with their nose up in the air or like are
that's
not
it.
approachable, whatever like that. I like people. I like for people to come up and I'll say hi to them and I'll be a real person to them.
You have
And
time
I'm
for your
not,
fans. Well, I like that. I love people because, and that's it. You're really a fan favorite. And I'm going to be clear. This is not Shane saying this. This is not Bear saying this. Like, I've dealt with De La Hoya. He's a douche, dude. I'd
yeah,
like to remind
everybody
everyone.
says this. He's been a douche to me too. But go ahead.
He's awful. And I'm like, it's just so interesting. They tried to sell him as the good boy. I'm like,
Yeah,
was it the
yeah,
fishnet stockings that did it? Like, he is
yeah.
such a pain in the ass. And De La Hoya, if you see this, I've said this to you.
Yes. Ooh.
Like, I'm just
I
saying.
love it. To you. But he is
I
a
have
dish,
no
so
problem. I have no problem saying what I think, but I find it so interesting that like his PR machine has had to work so hard to try and keep this clean cut image,
right.
and you are just who you are, and I think that's why people gravitate towards you. Is
Yes.
you're very much what you see is what you get. You're friendly. Like I've been at events with you, and people just line up and want to see you and want to spend time with you.
Thank you. Yes, they do.
And you really put your time in for your fans, and that's rare. You're not one of those people that is like, yep, here's a photo piece. Like
Yeah.
you stand, you talk, you put that time in. Is that
Well,
And you said,
that's something that I had like in the beginning. I remember when I was a kid, and I said this when I was a kid, when I was 19 years old. I remember seeing. I can't remember who it was, but it was a kid that was trying to get an autograph and was trying to talk to some celebrity, right? And the celebrity was like, "Oh no, I'm not gonna do it. You know, I have time. I got," and walked away. And the kid was, and I remember seeing the kid's face just like drop.
yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'll never do that. I'll never ever do that. When I become great or champion, I won't do that. I'll make sure that every kid, gets a picture or a signature or whatever. And it
I
was
love that.
I think they forget. I think when you get to a certain point in celebrity and status, depending on who you are as a person, you may forget what it was like to be that kid, to be that young aspiring person. And so they dismiss these young men, young ladies, because they've forgotten what it's like to be in that position.
But
Yeah.
you only see a couple of celebrities like Sugar Shane and The Rock are really the main two that I see stop for every photo, stop for every fan, and Dan Henderson, by the way, as well. So there's three.
Correct.
But all of them are sports guys. None of them, like, you don't see like actors, models. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
It's
I
the
noticed.
sports guys.
I remember like being with. I'm not gonna name any of the football players, but I was hanging out with some football players and basketball players, whatever. And we'll walk, and they'll just walk right past them, and then I would like stop. I'm like they'll walk past, I'm like, and they just walk past. They don't even give them signatures or anything. But I'll stop for each one and give them pictures and stuff. And I remember the athlete seen me do it, and he came back and he started doing pictures and stuff like I did. Like he was like a role model. I was like a role model to him
Good.
doing this because he never did that. They just walk right past him all the time, and maybe sign one and then keep going. I was like, oh, that's interesting.
You
Well, it's
changed your
never
perspective.
Yeah.
you changed his perspective. You showed him what a real star should be. Because it's
Yeah.
never the people that have made it that are terrible. It's always
Yeah.
the people that want to show you they have or how important they are. They're
Yeah.
always douchebags because
Yeah.
it's they're wanting to show you they're important.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Ugh.
100%.
What is the what is the fight? Sorry, I've ignored like 300 questions from Twitter. I'm about to get some hate mail. What is the fight you are most proud of?
The fight that I think I'm most proud of is the guy that you hate. No, Oscar De La Hoya fight when I beat him in 2000.
Well,
When I beat him in
but you beat
2000.
him, so I'm good with that. I love this fight. You beat the hell out of him. Keep going.
Yeah, I believe that was my best fight. That put me on top as far as the world. I beat him when we was kids. So people just didn't know that when I jumped from 135 to 47, that I was actually bigger than Oscar and the amateurs. So everybody thought that Oscar was bigger than me. So, oh, he's too big for him. He's bigger than him. He's not gonna be able to beat Oscar. But it's like, no, I was actually bigger than Oscar, and I'm older than Oscar by a year.
Oh man, you got that big brother energy going on.
Really? Hang on. Hang on. I gotta look at
I was the
this.
number one guy.
I'm like, you're older than you look so much younger than him. And I'm not just saying this because he's had way too much Botox and filler. I'm just saying, like,
What?
you look. Oh my God! Look at his face now. He had a ton of Botox and filler. Way too much work done.
Who's that?
And
Oscar?
I've got Botox and filler.
Yeah,
And if I'm telling
Oh,
you
yeah.
you're overfilled,
Yeah. Wow, he does. He is kind of filled.
yeah. But like, you look so much younger than him. That really caught me off guard when he said you were older than him. Because you look that.
I'm a year older than him, but he's because he's like 51 or something. I'm 52.
got it.
Good
You
God.
talked about your amateurs for a second when you discussed how you beat Oscar back when you guys were kids. What was it like coming up in the amateur divisions for a boxer? Because I know for me, I get like one fight every few months if I'm lucky, man. Like, because
Oh no, I was fighting every week. I fought
God damn it.
every week. I fought every single week, and basically, I was the number one guy here in California. I was the number one guy in the country for a long time. Like from '89 to '92, I was the number one. I was number one in the country from all those years, and I was number one in my state since I was like 9, 10, 11 years old. So I beat Oscar. Oscar was following me around trying to get a fight with me because I was the number one guy. But people didn't know all that stuff. I was always the number one guy.
Yeah, man.
Just didn't get that. I didn't get that notoriety until I fought Oscar, where people could say, "Oh, he's a great fighter." But I was before Oscar. I was before Floyd. I was before all of them.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? So I was, and I've always been the number one guy.
You kind of transcended the ages right there, like you said. You came before these greats, but you've also still gone on. In Mayweather's case, you were fighting during his time. In Oscar's case, you beat him out. You've been in the scene forever.
And and you're still popular, and it's amazing.
Exactly.
Like you've really, really like been. You're a boxing staple. You're a fighting staple. Who did you admire most as a boxer coming up?
When I came up, the reason why my name is Sugar Shane is because I was wearing Sugar Ray Leonard gloves.
That's his favorite boxer too.
Yes, my favorite boxer. I was wearing Sugar Ray Leonard gloves, and they started calling me, man, you like little Sugar Ray. We'll call you Sugar Shane. So they started calling me Sugar Shane. So that's how I actually got my name back in the day.
I lied. I was actually going to ask you how the name came about, because we always had. There's a few different boxers throughout time who've had the name Sugar, like Ray Robinson, Leonard, so on and so forth. There's even a Sugar in the UFC. It's Sean O'Malley. So it's
Sugar Sean O'Malley. Yeah, but this was given. So I didn't give myself the name Sugar Shane.
Right.
It wasn't. It wasn't like I said, "Oh, I want to be Sugar Shane." It was like, we're calling you Sugar Shane. They called me in the boxing when I was an amateur, like 10, 11 years old. We have Sugar Shane Mosley. I was Sugar Shane Mosley back then. When I fought Oscar back then, I was Sugar Shane Mosley.
I love that. I think that matters more when they give you the nickname rather than you trying to like brand yourself.
Right.
That's really cool.
It does. So they give it to me, and I took it, and I just like, all right, all the way through my whole boxing career. Yeah.
So why Leonard? Why was he the one that stuck out for you?
Sugar Ray Leonard, he was like the poster child as far as the poster boy, as far as he can box you, but at the same time, he can go in close and fight you in close, and he can knock you out. But he was so classy, so smooth with the boxing. I actually love to move around the ring and box really good too as well. I think growing up in California, more Mexican style fighting, they want you to stay right there. So I learned how to stay right there and fight. And that's why I'm such a great fighter, is growing up in California, learn how to fight in close. But I can also box too, so I was a threat. It was like a threat. Boxing and standing close and fighting.
Definitely, you had the movement, you had the infighting work. Hey, you were a troubling person to go against at any point, but did you have a fight where you're like, oh, this guy's really fucking good? Like you got in there, you went a round or two with him and thought, damn, this is going to be a tough fight.
Well, when I got older, and I fought, when I was fighting Canelo, I was thinking to myself, oh man, I thought that I was more experienced than him, but I thought that my experience can take him over. But he was too young, too fast, and I just couldn't. The counterpunching and everything was good. I just couldn't get in, and it's probably because I was just too old. I couldn't match it with the youth thing, but he was very sharp though. Canelo was really sharp.
Canelo is all about speed, and he keeps everyone out. Like, did you watch his fight? Was it like a week ago? He just had one.
At the fight, yeah.
Yeah, like that seems to be his thing. He's just got a whole like, no, I don't want to be punched thing.
Well, he got that from Floyd, I think, not wanting to be punched, really? Right? Yeah, because Floyd came in with the whole. This Money Mayweather, make money and don't get hit, we hit, but when fight. So he came in with that philosophy. But before he was Money Mayweather, he was Pretty Boy, and he was going there trying to knock people out, doing it the right way. But then he came up with the thing, okay, I'll make money now, and then I'm not gonna get hit, and I'm gonna save myself. So I think that Canelo started adopting that style when Floyd beat him. He's like, okay, well, this style works because he beat me with it, so I'm going to try it too.
Makes sense.
That's a good plan. If you can't beat, and I'm not saying he couldn't, but he didn't meet them, so learn from the experience. Try and get into your
Yeah.
You know, as we're approaching the end of the show here, so
Well, we want to talk about Shane's social media. And Shane, you have your own podcast now.
Yeah, I have my own podcast. I'm here actually in Puerto Rico right now. If they want to go to my podcast, it's Sugar Shane Show at Sugar Shane Show. You know, we do boxing, lifestyle, different stuff, different people. I'm trying to get different people to come on, different celebrities and stuff like that. And it's gonna be. We have some very like good things on there that I guess you could say good things that people want to hear, that people should know about.
That's wonderful.
That's coming up on, what I'm saying, with the boxing thing, with Victor Conti, all kind of stuff, and Vala and Ryan Garcia, and so we're talking about a lot of different things.
Hell yeah, at Sugar Shane Show, I love it.
Yeah. So guys, make sure you are following Sugar Shane Mosley at Sugar Shane Show. December 31st, there is going to be Sugar Shane's Fight Night in Las Vegas. Nobody's supposed to know about it, so keep it a secret. We haven't told anyone yet. But make sure you guys are prepped for that. It's going to be streaming. There are going to be limited live seating, so if that's something you want to do, make sure follow Sugar Shane, because he'll know when the tickets go on sale. I'm just saying. He'll have that information. Guys, make sure you're following him. Shane, thank you so much for being on. I'd love to have you on again anytime. If you're ever promoting anything, come on our way. We'd love to have you. You're a really fun guest.
Thank you. I'll come over and hang out with you guys. This is great, man. I had a great time.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming on from all the way from Puerto Rico. So now we're spanning the globe. We've got you in Puerto Rico. I'm in Australia. Bear's in California. So you've just watched for those of you that are listening, because I know we also do this as a radio show, Sirius XM, that sort of thing. So if you're listening, what you got is 3 people from all over the world hanging out, talking about how to make it in entertainment, specifically combat sports. I don't know why anyone would want to do that. You all are nuts. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you to our very special guest, Sugar Shane Mosley. Congratulations to Sugar Shane on joining the Boxing Hall of Fame. He is incredible. Make sure you check out his fight night. Make sure you check out his podcast. I'm Summer Helene. We are on with my co-host, the baddest bear in the cage, Bear Fiora. And I think next week's show will be from Australia again.
Yes.
It will. All right. We'll see you guys there. I will find you bullet. Don't worry. I will find you the half-cooked duck egg. I'm Summer Helene. This is Behind the Scenes. We'll see you next week. Good night.
This has been Behind the Scenes with Summer Helene and Bear Fiorda. Only on Talk 4 Media.